Alright, hello everybody, welcome back. Jeff again, coming to you. Mindcrack, vanilla server, and we're in the exact same spot we left off. I was hidden in that hole down this water chute, which probably wasn't smart because the enemies could have just flowed in right toward me, but whatever. What is done is done. We'll protect that water source, and we will continue to explore this cave. Do I have torches still? I do. I have 27 torches. I'm going to need to make a new iron pick relatively soon here. This cave is pretty beast. I think there's... oh no, it keeps going. I thought this was dead. Oh no, it's a dead end up here. Okay, so that's fine. So let's get a bunch more of the iron. Probably get it like smelting because I'm gonna have to make a new pick very, very soon. Do I have any more smelt? Oh, I have 12 smelted already, so I don't need to deal with that. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go this way. See what's over here. It's a creeper. This is a quite expansive area. Let's mark that. We'll go like that so nothing can get through, and we'll finish over here first. That probably loops right around. Okay, that's a dead end. This is not, and there's a skeleton. Okay, he killed himself. I got plenty of coal. I don't have nearly as many as much wood as I would like, though. Let's do that. I need to get more torches. There's more iron. Lots more iron. Lots more coal. This cave is just massive. It's not taking me down to where I want it to go, but it's taking me somewhere. So I'm actually... That spider... Whoa, shoot. That spider's going really, really fast. It kind of sucks right now because I'm playing... at my house, I broke my coffee pot when we moved. And the coffee pot's no big deal. They are, you know, relatively cheap. Like, extremely cheap. I just haven't purchased one yet. But there is some... instant coffee that was left at the house when we were here. I don't drink instant coffee very much. I can't say I'm a coffee snob at all because I love Folgers, Maxwell House. Your basic of the basic coffee is what I drink and what I enjoy. I don't necessarily like to drink the fancy stuff. I actually hate Starbucks coffee. I hate like Seattle's Best as well. I think they're too dark. They taste burnt all the time. The only chain coffee shop that I actually really enjoy their coffee is Caribou Coffee. I think Caribou Coffee is delicious. I don't know what it is about Caribou Coffee that they do different, but it is amazing. And there's not really many Caribou Coffees out in the area where I live. Did this take me back to the surface? It did. How close am I? Not 100% certain how close I am to home, but at least I know that this is an exit. And I have instant coffee here, though, which I don't like too much. But I drink it in a pinch because I just love coffee in general. I hate Keurig, by the way. Keurig is all that they have at my work now, and it's really annoying because I really hate Keurigs. But I was cooking water on the stove in a tea kettle. I know it sounds weird. Not many people like cook in a tea kettle, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they do. I've used the microwave for everything for so long. We didn't have a microwave right when we first moved into this place, but we have one now. And it's sometimes easier. I'll just start the tea kettle while I'm doing something else to get water boiling so I can have some coffee. And I went and once it was boiling, I put the instant coffee in the cup and got the cup all ready and started dumping in the water. And the lid of the tea kettle, it's supposed to be a really tight fitting lid. It fell off as I was pouring it, and where it came off, my hand was right above it, and the steam all just came shooting out of the top of the thing, and like severely burned my right hand, my dominant hand. And as a medical professional, I put it in some water just to make sure. Where did I just come around to here from? Hi, zombie. Wait, where was this connection at? Was it right up over here? It did not look the same to me. I guess it is the same. So that is one and the same, where I just came up here. So, okay. I'm gonna go fight that zombie now. And I ran cold water on it for a while, but it really hurts. Steam burns are a bitch, man. They hurt really bad, and that's because steam is hotter than water. For those who don't know, I'm sure most people out there do know. Some people might not, because it just might not be something that they've learned in school yet. It's not something like water boils at, let's say, Celsius. It's 100 degrees Celsius. That's the whole point of the Celsius scale. It's 0 is the freezing point of water, 100 is the boiling point of water. It's a whole scale of measurement based off of the boiling point of water. It's really good, makes things convenient and easy to understand. But in America, we don't use Celsius for very much, except for in the medical industry and in like science classes. So in Fahrenheit wise, it's 32 degrees Celsius. Or 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the freezing point of water, and 212 is the boiling point of water. I'm pretty sure I have that right. 32 is the thing I'm questioning, but I'm pretty sure that that's accurate. And water, when it boils, let's go back to the Celsius scale to make it easy. At 100 degrees, you have a mixture of like water and steam, because water and steam can both exist at 100 degrees. However, anything over 100 degrees, you have now solely steam, because water cannot exist at average pressure, atmospheric pressure, blah, blah, blah. And I know that's confusing, but that's the concept of how a pressure cooker works, is because you increase the pressure, which allows the water to get hotter before it boils, and therefore that's how you can cook things at a much higher temperature. I know, it's strange. I would never have thought of doing something like that, but that's the concept of how they work in general. And I need to eat. And so the steam that hit me is on a standard atmospheric pressure. I was not in a pressure cooker or anything like that. Was greater than 100 degrees. I'm not sure how much greater than 100 degrees, but it like steam burns. That's why they hurt more. That's why they're more dangerous, is because they're freaking hotter and more painful. And that's because of the fact of the temperature that you can have with those things. So, needless to say, I'm complaining a lot because my hand really hurts. It's actually really hard to use the mouse. I have a feeling it's going to start like swelling up in a little bit, and I just got to keep an eye on it and make sure doesn't swell up too bad, because then you could have problems that require fasciotomies and things like that, and nobody wants to deal with that. For anybody who knows what a fasciotomy is, nobody wants to deal with that. Actually, when I was younger, when I was 16, probably, maybe 17, I was working at McDonald's, and anything in the food service, you're very prone to burns. And I had just joined the ski patrol, so I was relatively new when it comes to medical stuff. And I had just joined. A friend of mine that worked there I don't remember exactly how she burned her hand. I think it might have actually, she slipped and it went like in the grease. And she didn't know what to do. She started freaking out. She was crying because it like really hurt. And I grabbed her and took her over to the employee sink. And I made her soak her hand in it for a while. And she kept wanting to take her hand out. And I just kept saying, no, don't. Leave your hand in there. Listen to me. We're going to soak it like under cold running water. You don't use ice, but under like cold running water for a while. And then we're going to get you to the clinic, because you need to go get this checked out. But we need to like make sure the burning stops. And especially considering it was like, a grease burn. I wanted to make sure all the grease was off and no longer burning before we did that. So anyways, she leaves. And eventually goes to the clinic after I made her soak her hand for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that before she left. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm just doing, what you normally do. Well, the next day I go to work, and she wasn't working that next day, but she shows up to work. And a lot of people used to hang out at McDonald's. It was like, we were in high school, and it was where all the high school kids came to hang out. So you'd come hang out with all your friends that were working, chill there for a while, get something to eat, make plans for the night or whatever. And she shows up, and she comes back behind the the counter and she's not working and comes back and stands next to me. I'm like on the assembly line making sandwiches. And she all of a sudden pulls out from behind her back like some flowers. And I was like, oh, who'd you get flowers from? That's the exact first thing that I said. I was like, oh, who got you flowers? And she's like, no, these are for you. And I was like, for one, I'm thinking in my mind, why is a guy getting flowers? This is kind of weird. Like, I'm not interested in this girl at all like that. So I'm like, is this some weird romantic gesture? Like, we're friends, but that's it. I didn't want any more with this girl. I think I was probably dating somebody at the time. I have no idea. And then she pulls out like this king size Hershey bar. And I remember it was this king size Hershey bar. And I was just looking at her and I was like, why are you giving this to me? And she goes, well, I went to the clinic. And they sent her apparently to like the emergency room as well because the burn was quite significant. There's some gold over there, so I'm finally down to a decent level. So I guess the burn was quite significant. And I guess the doctor told her, and I don't know how true this really is. Like, you can't really judge these things like just from looking at it and how something was. But the doctor told her that whoever made her put her hand in water for that long and made sure the burning stopped before she just came to the clinic without, having constantly a supply of like cold water running on it, most likely saved her hand because I guess it had started swelling up pretty bad, and they kept her in the emergency room because they thought she was going to have a fasciotomy, which is basically it starts this thing called compartment syndrome, and the cells inflame so much and it stops the flow of blood in and out of the extremities, especially on the extremities, because there's smaller vessels and stuff that go through there, and if it swells up, it like pinches off either the blood supply in, which is bad, but a lot of times it traps blood in there and stops the blood supply out, which is what compartment syndrome is based on. And that's like can be even worse, and it just starts to like your fingers and blood vessels start to like die essentially. And I guess that they told her that had I not done that they probably would have had to perform that fasciotomy to try to save her hand. But when they observed her for long enough, it actually stopped. It stopped before they had to like intervene, and she was like allowed to go home and was safe. And I didn't think, for one, somebody burns themselves at work. I'm trained in what to do, like the little bit that I can do at like a place like McDonald's. I'm trained on what to do. So I just followed those steps. That's why I was a ski patroller. That's why I went in the medical field and things like that, to learn that stuff, because I like helping people. I like making sure people have the most use of all extremities as possible, as well as living. It's always good. But she thought that I was like the most amazing person in the world. And granted, at the time, unless you're medically trained, not many, 16-year-old kids would know the extent that things could go bad. And granted, I didn't know anything about compartment syndrome at this time. I was only a basic ski patroller, the level of an EMT essentially, without even having the EMT certification. That's what the ski patrol is. So I was not a nurse. I did not know all the medical knowledge that I have today by any stretch of the imagination. But I just knew that you need to stop the burning, and you need to make sure the burning is stopped before you leave. And she was, yeah. So I guess it sounds like I'm saying this to brag, but I'm not. I'm more saying it as a moral of, hey, if you guys ever get into that situation, diamonds, make sure you let the burning stop. But like I said, at the time, I really didn't know that I was doing something that amazing and that great. And I honestly did not think that I had done that to the point where I was going to save her hand the way the doctors like were saying that I did. And like I said, I'm not, oh yes, I'm glad I kept digging in this wall just in case. I'm not saying that I really did, because you really can't tell. The swelling stopped at some point. Whether it was going to stop anyway is anybody's guess. It very well could have. Maybe I did save her hand. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But it was just doing what I was trained to do is what potentially led to the best possible outcome. And that's really what it all comes down to, is when you're trained to do something, do it right. I get really frustrated when people like half-ass certain things. And some things, I half-ass things too. I'm not going to say that I don't. Like, it does happen. But when you half-ass like super important and safety-related things, like I think in the news there was just the collapse of the scaffolding in China happened the other day, and they said like 70 people were killed. The way that they said this story on NPR too was so interesting to me, because he said this is the worst safety accident that China's had in the workplace in over 2 years. And I was like, wait, when you start with the worst at the workplace in over, I'm expecting you to say like 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, something like that. When you say 2 years, that's a little problematic to me, because that's really not that long of a record, a safety record, for not having over 70 people die in a workplace accident. That's a little problematic in my mind to be able to have that as almost like it was a good statistic. Like, oh, look how good their record is. It's been over 2 years since 70 people died. You're doing something wrong. But then they did go on to say that the company responsible, I thought I heard skeletons, that's why I'm digging this way, that the company responsible for the accident has a history of like basically ignoring the safety standards and doing things like that. Man, when you're in that type of business, absolutely shame on you for not following safety standards. Yeah, we have OSHA here in America, and I know not everybody follows the safety standards of OSHA, and they should. That stuff, that's some serious shit, guys. Like, you need to make sure when people's lives are on the line for the nature of what they do. It's like, I even get mad in the fire department a lot of times because, come on. Go away. There could be so many other things in this area. There we go. Yeah, there's gold there. I don't have any gold yet. You know, I get mad at the fire department sometimes because people like to do stupid things just to do stupid things. A lot of our ambulance drivers, they they want to drive emergency in every situation. Once you pick up a patient, and if it's not a life-threatening situation, our protocol is you don't drive with lights and siren. You drive with normal traffic flow. No lights, no siren. You're stopping at stop signs. You're driving just like any other day of your commute to work or whatnot with a patient in the back. They do that for safety purposes. There's absolutely no reason, just because you're in an emergency vehicle does not give you the opportunity to drive fast and blow through red lights, because you can't guarantee what other people are going to think. Just because I'm an emergency vehicle with lights and siren, you're not going to necessarily stop for me. You're not going to necessarily see me. Granted, they have the lights and siren to try to make those vehicles the most noticeable vehicles that they can be, but it's not perfect. So you don't want to drive lights and siren to all this stuff, because, man, I hate responding to certain emergency calls, especially during rush hour, because the people who are driving don't care. You're like an inconvenience to them. Holy shit. You're an inconvenience to them because they have to heed way for you. And people have, you don't know how many times I've had people try to go around me, because an ambulance, it governs at like 65 miles an hour. It won't go faster than that. I've had people pass me going lights and siren before, when I'm going as fast as I possibly can, because I'm going as fast as the vehicle allows. Lights and siren, and people still think it's okay to either go around you. They want to make that turn first, so they turn in front of you because they don't want to have to get stopped by you and miss their light. It's a dangerous world out there. And we have a lot of drivers who think of any excuse they possibly can to make sure that, oh, the person's got a cut on their toe. Well, they could bleed out, so I can turn anything into an emergency situation. And I get why they do that. There's like an adrenaline pumping type of standpoint. Getting to drive emergency, as fast as you possibly can. Sometimes you can get going faster than 65 if you're going downhill, sure, because it's, the governor doesn't stop, you're coasting. So I've gotten the ambulance up to, a much higher run before, probably like 85, maybe on an expressway that was going downhill. And that's probably not even allowed either. I sadly do drive faster than I ever should in general, though. So driving 75, 80, 85 miles an hour is not abnormal for me in my personal vehicle. I know that's bad. It's breaking the law. I get it. I shouldn't do it, but I do. I'm just admitting that I do. But there's an adrenaline rush to it of driving fast, driving in this ability that I can blow through stoplights. I can, obviously don't want to blow through stoplights. You're supposed to come to a stop, actually, at all stoplights in an emergency vehicle. That doesn't happen very often. If you can obviously see people are heading way, you are good to go. But you are supposed to stop at every stoplight to check it's clear and then proceed on through safely. You are supposed to actually stop at every possible lane that you come across, as if each lane were an intersection if you're going through the red light. That doesn't happen that often because you can, and it's caused accidents before, but a lot of times it's, you can tell what people are doing. If everybody is stopping for you and you can see all your lanes and they have come to a complete stop and you've like made eye contact with the driver, because it's a big thing, you do make eye contact with these drivers. If you can make the eye contact with the driver and know, then you're good to go. But you're really still, by protocol, are supposed to stop. But so when I was a driver, I actually hate driving emergency. I would try to take things, unless something was absolutely life-threatening emergent, I would talk my drivers out of it sometimes of them trying to go. They'd be like, oh no, maybe we should take this one emergency. And I'd be like, oh no, we probably really shouldn't. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, you're right. Like, so when you can talk them out of it that easily, obviously it wasn't a situation where they needed to go emergency. But either way, I don't know. I'm a safe person in general. I'm a very defensive driver. I think I've talked about this before. I'm an extremely defensive driver. Julia always gets really mad at me because Julia is not a defensive driver. I'm also a very courteous driver as well. And Julia definitely lacks that. She gets so pissed at me all the time because I'll be like, slow down, that guy's trying to merge in. And she's like, I shouldn't have to slow down for him, he's in the wrong lane. And I'm like, yeah, but you just literally cut people off because you were in the wrong lane like 2 blocks ago too. If everybody was a courteous, there's a fire engine outside my house right now. If everybody was a courteous driver, it'd be a whole different world, man. A whole different world if everybody like tried to look out for each other. And especially when you realize there is a lane, especially a lane that's closing down, that is a very confusing type of intersection or confusing type of lane that's not well marked, and like it's an area that you drive all the time, so you know better. He'd wait to some people sometimes. Let them get through. Doesn't live right there. Everybody doesn't know exactly what all these lanes are doing, what they're supposed to be doing. They're trying their best. I mean, that's all they can do. You only learned what you learned because of the fact that you've been driving on that area for so long. Oh, hi, buddy. You're like right there. See ya. I don't know why he stayed there. So that's my little public service announcement for today. Be a courteous driver. Also, don't get steam burned on your coffee. And do what you're trained to do. Oh, safety. That's what it was all about. It was all about safety and OSHA and things like that. But yeah, I mean, we have protocols in place at the fire department because of, OSHA standards and safety standards. That's sadly why they don't have poles in fire stations anymore. That saddens me. As Eddie Izzard said, just tell them you want the slidey poles in your station because they're fun. Like, that's it. Yeah, they can't have those anymore. The stations that do still have slidey poles are, pre the... you can't get through, are pre the regulation that you can't, and they have to have like specific clamshells and things like that over them. I've never actually been into a fire station that has a pole. I do think we have some here in Montgomery County. I could be wrong on that. DC, I'm 99% positive, has a couple of old ones that have clamshells. I know in Flint, where I'm from, there's a couple, but I've never actually been into those stations or taken the pole before, which saddens me because I think it'd be fun. I'm gonna pull something that many people hate and just kill all this lava to try to get across here. Get some light going in here. I do want to see what else we got coming up around this corner. I'll watch for things to not fall on my head here. Almost to the end. Almost doing that. Drop another torch. Now I have to fight this water. There we go. Okay, that's good. I see gold. Lots of gold. I don't remember really what you do with gold in the real game. Gold's nice in UHC, but really has little purpose in vanilla Minecraft. There's a couple things you can do with it, just not much. I remember when they first invented the gold tools, and I thought it was so exciting because it was like these tools that mined super fast, but they had a really low durability. But that basically got completely wiped out by the addition of enchanting, because there's Now you can enchant things that are faster than gold anyway, so therefore, what's the point? I don't want to go back up, though. I want to stay down and get more diamonds. Now I'm out. Shoot, I'm going to be out of sticks, so I can't make anything else really anymore. I have to go back up to the surface at some point just to get wood. Unless I can find an abandoned mine shaft. I'm kind of surprised this hasn't opened up into one yet. Like, this is obviously a massive cave system. There's so much more to explore even at the beginning sections of it. Come here, Spidey. Can I block you with this? I can. Oh, I shouldn't have gone down this way, because now I'm kind of trapped by all the water. Okay, it's relatively clear, though. I really did block this off. Here we go down again. I'm going to have to make a tunnel up to the surface here momentarily. There's so much iron that I can come back with as well. Or come back and get, I should say. Not really come back with. I do have a lot of iron on me. Not a lot. I got some iron on me. Change that statement rather quickly. I have 3 torches that I can possibly get to anymore. But this does look like a great spot to be able to try to make my way out of here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my way up to the surface from here. Gotta watch out, though. I might do it in the wall. Yeah, because there's a lot more cave right here. It's just upper cave as opposed to lower cave. So I think I'm going to just build a nice little staircase on out of here and see where it gets me, how far it gets me. I need to go get more wood. I need to get more torches. If I can go find the base, drop some of this stuff off. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next episode.